Greetings YouTube viewers and welcome to another video on the Ian Bullock channel. It's Thursday the 26th of May 2022 and here I am at home in Norwich with my miniature Schnauzer Nina. Now viewers of YouTube will recognise Nina because she's had something like 270,000 hits on my channel, the Ian Bullock channel, and so she's well known on Facebook and on the internet. But today I just wanted to talk to you about a very unusual little incident that happened to us, which I thought other dog owners might have experienced with their dogs, including their miniature Schnauzers like Nina. So Nina's always been quite an unusual dog in a way, because ever since she was a puppy, she always seems to have understood everything that I wanted her to do, things like toilet training and walking with me while not on the lead. She just seems to have this kind of innate ability to understand what I want her to do, and I actually think she's an incredibly intelligent little dog. She's very quiet, you very rarely hear any noise from her, but I think she's a bit of a deep thinker, and as I say, she just seems to have this innate ability to understand what you want her to do, why you want her to do it, and I think there's a lot more going on in that little brain of hers than maybe I give her credit for. But yeah, something interesting happened today, and I'll show you now on the video what was going on our daily walk. So every morning really since Nina was a puppy, I've been bringing her to this area here in Norwich called Danby Field, which is part of the Eton Rise housing estate. We tend to park the car here, and from when she was a puppy we've always come here every morning, so she knows the area quite well. What we do is we get out of the car, and then what we used to do was we used to go down the right hand path where the path forks here, and that leads down to those woods at the bottom that you can see, through the barrier into the woods, and then onto a big area called Marston Marsh, which is a kind of wetland sort of conservation area really, which has cattle grazing on it. And we used to do a full circuit of the marsh and then back along the path that leads along the side of Eton Golf Club, and we did that for many years when she was younger. So we used to go off on the right hand path here down through the woods and have a nice circuit of the marsh. So this is Marston Marsh, which is on the south fringe of Norwich here in Norfolk in East Anglia, and used by a lot of walkers, runners, dog walkers, and left as a kind of grazing marshland area really, which attracts a lot of birds and wildlife and insects and so on. And yeah, just a very popular area here in Norwich for people to enjoy the outdoor countryside. Now in recent years, for various reasons, we've been going instead round to the left here and then doing several circuits of the field with Nina's friend Dexter, the border terrier. So we haven't been to the marsh and through the woods for quite a long time. But this morning, because I've got a bit more time on my hands and because we're on our own, I decided that we might go through the woods instead and recreate the walk that we used to do around the marshes. And what was interesting was I didn't actually say anything to Nina about this walk. I just got my cup of coffee from the filling station as usual, had her in the back of the car, and we got out, changed my shoes, and off we went. But what was interesting this morning was that little Nina, for reasons that I just cannot explain other than some kind of extra sensory perception, immediately got out of the car, walked really quite sort of firmly and directly down this right hand path into the woods, and then just walked through the woods without me saying anything. So somehow or other, and I just don't know how it happened, she was able to, I suppose, even, you know, kind of read my thoughts as to what we were doing and why we were going to do it. I never said anything, I never did anything differently. So whether or not she could detect, I don't know, my endorphins or what was in my mind, I just don't know. I really don't know how it happened, but it's interesting because I suppose that raises the question, does your dog read your mind, or can your dog tell what you're thinking just through some kind of innate sensory ability? I don't know. if you have had an experience like this, please comment in the comments below. But yeah, it's interesting with Nina because she's the 4th miniature Schnauzer that we've had. She's featured a lot on YouTube and Facebook and the internet because she has a heart condition, and so I've got some videos of her already on my YouTube channel. And what's interesting about her is that she's probably the nicest looking of the 4 female mini Schnauzers we've had, but also she's got the nicest temperament, and she's got a very kind nature about her, very gentle, but it just makes me wonder whether actually she's cleverer than I would give her credit for, really. So that's it. That's Nina here at the Danby field in Norwich. I suppose sometimes we maybe tend to underestimate the natural sensory powers and instincts of our dogs, particularly when they're pets. But of course there are already working dogs, assistance dogs, what they used to call sniffer dogs, but I think are now called detection dogs, that work at airports and places like that to detect and sniff out illegal substances, explosives, firearms, things like that. There are also seizure detection dogs that help people with epilepsy when they've had a seizure, and I think there's been a suggestion that the dogs can actually anticipate when a seizure might occur. And then of course there are also more recently medical detection dogs which are able to detect whether someone has an illness such as cancer. I think they were working on COVID-19 dogs that could sort of smell someone and tell whether or not they were COVID positive. So yeah, dogs do have incredible powers, and sometimes I think we don't always appreciate that. So that's what happened to us today here in Norwich with Nina. What's very interesting, I think, about this incident is that Nina and I haven't actually been to Marston Marshes for maybe 1.5 years, 2 years, possibly longer. But there was something this morning that made her realise that something different and interesting was happening. Whether or not she read my mind, I just don't know. But yeah, a really unusual experience for us. And if anything has happened with you and your dog like that, please drop a comment in the comments below. It's May the 26th, 2022, and this is Ian Bullock and Nina here in Norwich, Norfolk, East Anglia.